Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, Mo Hunt Silver. In tonight's video, we are going to be hunting some quarters, and this is going to be quarter hunt number 7 for the year of 2025 on the channel. Now, right now I have one box sitting here in front of me, and I should be picking up at least 2 more boxes here in the next day or two to add to the video. So these are Loomis quarters, so I did have to open the box to check and make sure they're circulated, and they sure are circulated quarters. I didn't see any kind of fancy enders or anything like that, but we definitely have a good mix. So I'm hoping we can find some more West Point quarters in this box, maybe some more silver, and we'll also be looking for proofs, errors and varieties, and foreigns, or anything else cool that might be hiding in here. So let's get into these quarters and see what we can find. Well guys, this box has been kind of rough so far. I haven't really found too much in it, but roll number 43, because I only have 7 rolls there left in the box, I can finally bring you in for something that's actually kind of cool. So we do have a San Antonio Missions 2019 quarter right here, and when I flipped it over, for the look that it had, I thought it was going to be a West Point, but it's actually, if we're going to focus on here, it's actually a San Francisco mint. There it is. Now you can see it. So this will be a not intended for circulation San Francisco mint quarter that somebody had to buy from the U.S. Mint, and somehow it made it out here in circulation. But if we look in our red book, the San Antonio Missions, San Francisco, which is right here, there's only 947,000 of these produced. So that actually makes this a little more rare, actually about twice as rare as a West Point quarter. It just does not hold the value because, well, most of these are in uncirculated condition because they're just for collectors. But that's pretty cool. Not an easy find in circulation. And the only other things I really found in this box so far is 2 house coins. But I got 2 house coins here that are painted red. And yeah, that'll be a wrap for box number 1. Box number 1 gave us a total of 3 finds. We have 2 house coins and our 2019 NIFC quarter, San Antonio Missions. Roll number 16 of box 2 is going to be a pretty good roll. I was towards the end of it, and I actually have 2 examples of this that I found in the roll, but we are going to have something that I have not found in a little while now, and this will be the Dr. Mary Edwards Walker on the 2024 Philly. It's going to be the VDDR-001 on Variety Vista, and you can see it in the hair, the extra little bit right there, if the camera is going to focus on it. This is kind of shiny but scratched. You can see it there a little bit. But I do have an example under the microscope because, like I said, we did find 2. So right here is the one I had under the scope, right there. And this one, again, is a little circulated and beat up, but you can see it right here. The doubling coming down along the medallion, and then in these 2 areas, and also in the hair again. This one I think is a later dye state because we do have dye chips between the C and E, and then another one between the E and the N. But I was just looking on eBay, and these are still selling for about $25 to $35. So they did come down quite considerably from what they were. But that's sweet. I actually found 2 of them in that roll. It's a good roll. Roll number 27 of box 2 is going to give us another pretty sweet, interesting find. It's just working through the end of the roll, and it came up to a 2015 Homestead This is a Philadelphia minted coin. And when I threw it under the scope to check for any of the DDRs, we do have a double pump handle going across both the windows right there. And when I checked on Variety Vista, it is going to be the DDR-007 on their listing. And you can see a pretty good example of that right there. And that is exactly what we have. Not bad. I don't think I've ever found this one before. Coin's not in the best shape, but it's also not in horrible shape either. So it's definitely one I'm going to hold on to and add to the collection. Oh, and I also did find a 2019 San Antonio Missions with a pretty substantial die chip on the left side here. You can see that right there. I'm going to hold on to that too, I think, as well. All right. We'll keep moving. We're just about done with box number 2. I only have 3 rolls plus what I have on the mat here to go. I didn't even see this because I opened up the roll very quickly and put it down on the mat. But we are going to have some silver in this box. And that is going to be a 1964 out of Philly. That's sweet. That's a last year silver. Awesome. Very cool. All right. Just going to add that to the jar at the end of the hunt. All right, guys, that's going to be it for box number 2. Box number 2 of this hunt did give us a total of 8 total finds that I'd like to cover with you for the wrap-up of this box. And the first one is going to be up here. It's going to be a 2008 Arizona quarter from Philadelphia. But the only reason why I want to show it to you guys is because it's got really nice toning on it that I don't think is really showing up much on the camera. But in hand, it looks really, really cool. This coin could have the extra cactus die chip, which this one does not, because it'd be right down here where the designer's initials are. And I don't see it, but it's a really nice quarter. And it had toning, or it has toning. And then we found a foreign, a 2008 Pandemanian quarter. It's pretty sweet. I like the way that one looks. Then we had 2 die chips for the hunt in this box. And the first one is going to be our 2019 San Antonio Missions with a pretty substantial die chip right to the left right there. And then I also found a Bessie Coleman with a pretty large die chip on the upper plane wing, which I'll put under the scope for you guys so you can see it. And right there you can see there's a nice die chip, and it actually goes up to the bottom of the U. So that's pretty sweet. Quarter's in kind of rough shape though. And then our 4 finds of this box are going to be our Homestead DDR-007, which is the double pump handle right there. Then we had 2 examples of the Mary Edwards Walker VDDR-001, which is in her hair and on the right side of the medallion right there. And then our 1 silver 1964 Philly. So that's awesome. This was a very good box. I hope box number 3 is just like this one or better. So we'll move on to box number 3 right now, and I'll be back as soon as I have something to show you. Box number 3 is going to be in the books for this hunt. And we got Bumkiss. We got absolutely nothing out of that box. There's a $500 box of discards right there. It has actually been quite a while since I have gotten absolutely nothing to show in an entire box of quarters. So that was a terrible, terrible box. But we'll move on to box number 4 as soon as I get that one. And that's got to be better than this one. I would at least expect anyway. But all right, I'll see you guys again when I get box number 4. Just like that, I'm back. This is a couple weeks later, and I did only have one box on order at the bank, but they said they had an extra box. So this is going to be a 5-box hunt, and both of these boxes are circulated. Just like our first three, looks like we got a pretty good mix hiding in here. So I'm hoping that these two boxes are better than box number 3. They have to be, right? All right, well, let's get into box number 4, and hopefully I'll have something sweet to share with you very shortly. Just working through box number 4 here. We're up to roll number 31. Guys, I came across something pretty sweet right here. A few months back, or a few quarter hunts back, I guess, I came across the 1971 Denver FS-801 DDR. Well, this time, we're going to have the much harder to find 1971 Philly FS-801 DDR. It's not in very good shape. It is very circulated. But let me put this under the scope for you so you guys can see how spread the doubling is on this quarter. Look how fat E pluribus unum is. And then also on the S of states, you can see there's a clear double serif right there. And it's on everything. All the lettering, all the way around the coin. Excuse my finger. But let me just try and show this to you guys. But all the lettering all the way around the coin has doubling, even quarter dollar. Down here, you can see it very clear. Quarter, right there, you can see it real nice. But this is a crazy expensive quarter if it had been in mint state condition. And let me pull up PCGS real quick while I have you guys here. And right here's the listing on PCGS for the 1971 DDR FS-801. That's the Philadelphia right there. And look at this, $1,750 in a mint state 60 condition. On up to about almost $9,000 if you find it in a mint state 65. In the condition that I have this thing in, this is still roughly a $200 coin if I got it graded. That is pretty freaking sweet. Awesome. Just 5 rolls later, we're now on roll number 36 of box number 4 of this hunt. Guys, check this out. We have another not intended for circulation strike or quarter here. That is a women's quarter. It's a 2024 San Francisco. Let's see what the reverse design is here, because I am not sure myself. And that is going to be the Zinkala Shah. So that's pretty sweet. I believe there's only about 660 some thousand of these that were produced. So that is not very common at all, and actually makes that a little more than twice as hard to find than a West Point in circulation. That's pretty awesome. That's going to be a wrap for box number 4 of this quarter hunt. We didn't have too many finds in this one. We only had 2, but they were both pretty awesome finds. We had our 2024 San Francisco, not intended for circulation, and that is the Zinkala Shah. And then we had our very rare 1971 Philly DDR. It's going to be the FS-801. So that is pretty sweet. I mean, it's not in the best shape, but I'll definitely take it. And I think I'm going to consider that one a bucket lister as well. So that is sweet. This thing, had it been in slightly better condition, would hold a very high value. But all right, we can move on to box number 5. And let's hope this one will give us something sweet, just like box number 4. Roll number 20 of box number 5. Check this out, guys. We're going to have another not intended for circulation quarter. And this one is going to be a slightly older one. It's not one of the women's quarters this time. But let's see what we have for reverse. And that is going to be a 2014 Great Smoky Mountains. Awesome. So let me look through my red book here real quick. Yeah, that's the right page. And if we come over here to the red book, 2014 Great Smoky Mountains, that's going to be the S, which is right here. This one, there is 1.36 million of those minted. So that's not an easy quarter to find. And it's not in horrible shape either. So that's pretty cool. Definitely take that. And I didn't film this one, but we did have a foreign for this box. It's going to be a 1996 out of Panama. Right there. Pretty cool Balboa. All right, so we'll keep moving, and hopefully we'll find something else sweet. Box number 5 is hunted, and I'll give you guys a quick recap because we didn't find a whole lot, but we did find some pretty cool stuff. We have our Balboa quarter here. That is going to be our Pandemanian 1996, and then our Great Smoky Mountain, not intended for circulation, San Francisco business strike. Pretty low mintage right there, harder to find than a W out in circulation. So that's awesome. So now I can do a wrap up for the entire video, and we'll get all the highlights for the hunt up here on the mat and go from there. So I'll be right back. Here are all the highlights for this 5-box quarter hunt. We had a total of 12 finds up here on the board, and we had a nice variety of stuff. This was a very good hunt. I'm very happy with the way this one turned out, but I'll get into what we got here. We did get 2 foreigns, both being Pandemanian, and one of them here is a commemorative, I believe, right there, the 2008. So that's pretty cool. Then we had 2 die chips for the hunt, a San Antonio Missions, Philadelphia, and the die chip is on the left side of the cross there. You guys can see that. And then we had our Bessie Coleman, upper plain wing, pretty large die chip right there as well. And then box number 2 gave us 3 total varieties. We're going to have a Homestead. This is going to be DDR-007, which is a double pump handle. You have to put that under the scope to see it really well. And then we had 2 of the Dr. Mary Edward Walkers, and it's going to be the VDDR-001. I found a bunch of these a few months ago, so that's awesome that I found 2 more of them this late in the year. And then we had 3 San Francisco struck business strikes, or not intended for circulations. These are all pretty rare, much harder to find than W quarters in circulation. So we did pretty good on finding the finding the circular San Franciscos in this one. We do have a Great Smoky Mountains, San Antonio Missions, and then I was super surprised about this one right here, this Zincala Shah, because there are under 700,000 of these that were produced. That one is super, super hard to find right there. And this hunt did not disappoint us with silver, because we got 1 silver, 1964. I believe this was a filly. Yes, it is. And then I'm going to say a bucket lister for me. This 1971 DDR, and it's a Philadelphia strike too. And that's going to be the FS-801. I've been researching on eBay and just on the internet here, anywhere I can find information, and these seem to be pretty rare. So this one's not in the best shape. It is pretty worn. Seen a lot of hands, but doesn't look bad, and is still worth quite a bit of money, I believe, if I would send this away for grading, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. So that's going to be a wrap for the hunt. Like I said, this was a very good one, and we did find a little bit more silver to add to our silver jar right there. So All right. I do have half dollars coming, so I believe I have 2 boxes that are on the way. So I'm hoping to be able to finish up a half-dollar hunt, and I'm hoping I can find some silver in that one. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you're new.